What's up, guys? Got some crazy lighting going on here. I am driving to my son's track meet, and I've got like a solid hour in the car, and I've been meaning to get a few things shipped content-wise, so I'm going to take advantage of it regardless of the lighting or the audio or anything else for that matter. So the big topic this week has been this phrase I sort of coined called Core 10, and it came up through a conversation with a partner of mine around the if you're a founder or CEO, your 10 leaders, so either your first 10 hires, assuming they're leadership hires obviously, but basically your core 10 leaders around you, whether you know it or not, will dictate your company's culture. And culture is sort of a buzzword right now, and it's very it's a top of mind deal for a lot of organizations, and the reason why is because it's critically important. Right now, hiring the best people is true. The saying it's a war on talent, war for talent is true. It's white hot right now, even with a few little layoffs that are happening. If anything, that's probably helping the market just a tad. It's not hurting it at all. And the overarching reason, and this is data, by the way, that's not from running a poll. This is from me building elite teams from the trenches for more than a decade. What compels people to leave roles, and this is agnostic whether it's a leadership role or a individual contributor role or even middle management, whatever the case, what compels them to leave more often than not is really not money. People think it's more money. That is sort of assumed. Most quality candidates will assume that they're going to make a little bit more money for making a change. The main reason that they decide to change, it comes down to company mission, which it's not the same as culture, but it certainly runs parallel. And also the leadership that they're going to join. So the leadership of the department or the founder or what have you, which when we say leadership, when we say mission, when we say vision, all of those things are derivatives of culture. All of those things are set, or the tone for that is set by leadership, both good and bad. And your core 10, as a founder, your core 10 leaders, or as a CEO, your core 10, your CMO, CEO, or CFO, COO, etc., they are going to set the culture for your entire organization, even if it's thousands, even if it's a multinational conglomerate. Your core 10 is going to set the tone. And so it's critical. So as a CEO or as a founder, there is probably no higher portion of your job than to make sure those core leaders are the absolute best you can possibly find. So having this conversation, it became very apparent that there is a need in the market for this. We all know there's a ton of executive search firms out there, and if any of you have ever hired an executive search firm on the client side, you know exactly the arguments that you're thinking in your head on why you don't like to do that. I don't want to get in a fight with a bunch of executive search guys on why they're good and why they're blah, blah, blah. But everyone knows who's ever hired an executive search firm in the trenches, not the board, but the guys actually filling these roles. Everyone knows what you're really paying for, and it's not for the hire. Spoiler alert. So, the project for Core 10, what we're spinning up is we will work. So, okay, this is not Grainhouse per se. This is one of our joint ventures that we're spinning up. And when we got to the category of recruiting, it's an interesting caveat for me, because obviously that's my background. So when I started thinking about, okay, what's Grainhouse's response to recruiting? At first, of course, I start coming up with the traditional, sort of a Jonah-style model of, spinning up sourcing, or like a high-end boutique RPO type thing, etc. Man, this lighting is just brutal. Sorry, guys, if it's just look away. No. So, and I was kind of writing that stuff out, and I had to pause, because I was like, I'm doing what I've always done, and I know it works. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's a situation where it's not successful. It's repeatedly successful. But I just had to give myself a moment and just say, okay, what could we introduce into the market if I started fresh today with a blank sheet of paper? What would I design? And that the Core 10 concept is immediately what came out of me. And because I just know how important leadership is to companies. And also from a personal perspective, I really like working with founders and CEOs. And the reason being is because sourcing, when you can lead with culture, when you can lead with, sort of mission, it makes sourcing so much better. Because, don't get me wrong, aptitude's always important, of course, but that's not finding if you want me to go find the best product manager in the world, if I find the best product manager in the world on paper, but they don't care about what you're doing or what you're building, it's obviously not going to be a fit, obviously. So leading with someone who's going to get behind the mission and vision of what you're building, that's the whole game. I mean, that's the whole game. So in order for, if I work with a CEO or a founder, the assumption would be I'm the closest to ground zero as possible, to gleaning that culture, because obviously every company's culture is different. I can't, you line up 10 founders, everyone's going to have a little bit of a different sort of philosophy as to how they want their company to look and feel, and that's great. That's it's part of that's some of the cool parts of being a founder, is being able to to build something like that. So for me, I really like working with founders and CEOs, and I don't mind working with executives as well, and helping them build their teams. That's certainly important. And look, some of my best friends today were hiring managers that I worked with over the last 10 years. So certainly I value their leadership, and they are in many cases they are future CEOs and future founders. So I would say, I guess my asterisk would be a hiring executive that really takes ownership over building his or her team and really takes it personal. It's really about building the team with the best people, really investing heavily, servant leadership, that sort of thing. So that's what we're spinning up. So it's called Core 10. It is part of the Grainhouse family. It is not obviously Grainhouse's core mission, but it's a joint venture that we're going to spin up. And yeah, so away we go. We started reaching out to the market, and it's not gone well at all. This is a very contrasting message. This will tell me very, very quickly who the real players are and who aren't, because there are so many founders that should not be founders, and there are so many CEOs and we all know the lists, so many CEOs that are not there to build a world-class team. They are there for other reasons. They have other initiatives, and that's okay. Look, it is what it is. Like at least they're being authentic about it. But we are looking for the ones that are serious about building a real team, real leadership, and the best possible culture that they can. And that's what Core 10's about. So we're driving it to market. We'll see what happens. I'll report back on this in 30 to 60 days. My goal is, I think we're going to partner with maybe around 50 founders or CEOs total, and then we'll probably cap it, and then let it run for, build their teams out and build some business cases and that kind of thing. I don't expect this to be a massive, organization. I think we'll like I said, right around 50 companies globally, and we'll cap it and we'll let it run and start posting the results and go from there. So, if you are a founder, if you're a CEO, if you are an executive that is tasked with hiring and you get the need for leadership in your org, DM me. I am me at jonahmanning.net or jonah@greenhouse.io, either way. Or DM me in whatever platform you're seeing this video. I'm going to distribute it out to a few of them. Probably Instagram, YouTube, etc., etc. So look forward to connecting. And away we go. Talk soon.